guys, it's been a while since we posted, so I'm really excited to do this cool video that I had in mind, which I was originally going to film with this awesome tank behind me. Ended up not getting any filming in on that. The reptile room's a pretty cluttered mess right now, because we're in the process of actually moving to a different place. So the entire reptile area is going to be completely redone in a completely new location. So that's going to be awesome, and I'm really excited to film that. So in the meantime, I'm going to post this and try and get some more shorts up, but I just haven't had the time now. Just like I said, we are in the process of moving, so I know this video is a little weird. I'm crouched down on the ground. I don't really have a lot of room in here to film this. The collection's gotten so big, and we're going to be in a place that has going to have a lot more room, so being able to do stuff like this is going to be way easier. To all the new people that are probably watching this, because the last time we posted we had 100 subscribers, and now we're about to hit 700. So that happened in like a matter of like a month and a half, and I just haven't been able to post this. So appreciate all the subscribers. That's crazy. So I'm talking to a lot more people now. Yeah, so anyone who knows, this room's pretty cramped. This is about to be completely redone, so it's going to be awesome, and I'm super excited. Everyone that helps with the channel is super excited. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get started in today's video, which we're going to be talking about how to set up a bioactive setup. As you guys can see behind me, I already have a completely done bioactive setup for my red-eyed tree frogs, which I have yet to do a video about them. And I wanted time for this environment to grow and make sure that I set up the bioactive right. And let me tell you, this now versus where this is a jungle. It is thriving. I'm pretty sure there's new animal species in here that never existed ever, and they're in here. But today we're going to go ahead and talk about how to actually set up bioactive. And we're going to do it here with Purunga, green tree python that is still yellow. He's not showing any green. There's like a slight bit of green on his face, but you can hardly see it. So that's pretty cool. He's still yellow. I love it. I wish he'd stay like that forever. So the first thing you're going to need to do bioactive is you're going to need a tank, obviously. So these are actually specifically designed for bioactive setups. With that being said, they have this extra space at the bottom here, and then it opens up. So this actually allows you to do all your layers. And with bioactive, you're gonna have 3 layers that you have to set up. The first layer being your drainage layer, which are just these clay pebbles. So these pebbles here are what you're gonna want to use for your drainage layer. They're essentially just really hollowed, like really light clay beads that just absorb water. That's all it really is. But you need that drainage layer to hold in all the water and moisture, and that'll help with humidity issues. So like for a green tree python that needs high humidity, or my red-eyed tree frogs that need high humidity, these help hold in that water, which create the high humidity. It also keeps the water out of your soil, so you don't end up with issues like your plants taking in too much water and dying, things like that. Your second layer, which is very important, is you need some type of screen mesh to prevent your soil layer, which is your third layer on top, from falling into your drainage layer. You don't want them to combine at all. You want them to stay completely separate from each other. And then everything from there is all selective. So for example, I got terrarium moss. This stuff is great with all the humidity. So it's perfect for green tree python. And then it's just plant selection from there. Said know your plants. Don't put in plants that you bought at Walmart or Home Depot straight out of the pot. Wash the roots off. Those roots have chemicals in it that could be harmful, specifically for amphibians, but also reptiles. Stuff like, I don't know, like miracle root and stuff that you wouldn't see naturally out in the wild. You don't want that. There's a couple other things you're gonna need. Things like your cleanup crew, your isopods, and your springtails. You just throw those little buggers in there, and they'll eat all the poop and all the other things, and they'll pretty much create an ecosystem that will live on forever. And if you do it right, it will flourish like this environment behind me. This is crazy how well this has grown. It's actually overgrowing. I need to get in there and do some trimming. So with that being said, we're going to do some trimming today and put it in here. This is one of my snakes that's very handleable. He's always been super sweet. Every time I get this guy out, it's always really exciting. I think he's asleep right now. Yeah, he is. So he usually does really great with handling. Oh, and he's gotten so big. People that's been watching the channel since day one, they know that this guy was just a little itty bitty guy, but he's gotten so big. They know that this guy was really tiny when I got him, super vibrant. He is starting to dial back a little bit on that yellow, which I'm assuming is the green coming in. Yeah, you can see just a little bit of green on his face there, and a bit of black on his tongue. I don't remember his tongue being so dark. I could be wrong though. I didn't handle him a whole lot just because he was so little, but he's getting pretty big now, to the point now where To the point where I can get him out and confidently be cool with holding him. And as you can see, he's totally calm. He doesn't care. He knows I'm not going to hurt him. He's just chilling. And I just love this guy. I got him at a stupid steal price, and his captive bred. Now I do have Shinron. Everyone who watches the channel knows I have a grown adult green tree python. Shinron is wild caught, and because of that, I haven't done a whole lot of handling with him because he kind of doesn't like it, which is fine. It's cool. He's a display animal. It's awesome. This guy right here, though, he'll be one that I'll always be able to get out and handle. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and put him inside the bin that I actually got when I first bought him. Oh, we missed his birthday! 2303. I thought that was the No, it's January 28th, 2023.
We gotta have his birthday party.
Still yellow. Oh my god, this is his birthday gift. We're not that late. We just missed it. Oh my god, dude, you're a year old? Oh my god. This is one of my favorite snakes. This is one of my favorite snake species, period. Go watch my green tree python videos. I'm going to make tons more. Yeah, cool. So I'm going to go ahead and get all the old stuff out of here. Alright guys, so as you can see here, we have all the stuff taken out. It is still a little dirty. There's a little bit of the cocoa fiber still left from his original setup. Personally, that doesn't bother me. It's not that serious. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start putting the drainage layer, which are the clay beads, down at the bottom. Rule of thumb, 2 to 3 inches of drainage layer is preferred. Then your mesh, and then another 2 to 3 inches of your soil on top is pretty much what you want. Careful, these are clay beads, and this is glass. Yeah. So my drainage layer is going to be a little thin. I would go and buy more, guys. I do work at a reptile shop, support tie-dye iguana. But there's a blizzard outside, so I literally can't leave my house. So this actually isn't that bad of a drainage layer. I would prefer about another ½ inch. So just probably another good layer, single row of the drainage beads right on top here. But that's not bad. Again, you want about 2 to 3 inches. It's roughly about 2 inches. That should be just fine. Extra on the sides here. Same thing there. This is poking up on in here because of the type of mesh I'm using. My soil will cause that to go down. It's nothing to worry about. So what you want to use, this is Repti soil. This is a special blend, pumice, peat moss, and carbon. You can also make this stuff on your own at Home Depot. They have all the stuff there, peat moss, carbon, soil, all that stuff. You can just make it on your own too, but you have to buy that in big bulk. So if you're not someone like me that's gonna have has a ton of reptiles or building massive setups, just buy the Repti soil. I actually just bought the Repti soil for these two setups here, my red-eye tree frog and this green tree python. All right, guys, I'm just gonna dump this bag in there. It's just easier for me to do that. You're gonna want to kind of make sure it's really packed in there, because through time it's gonna settle. If you don't have it packed real nice, it'll settle and then you won't have as much top layer as you thought. So you kind of want to make sure it's really packed so you know if you need to actually add more or not. We have our drainage layer, my mesh in between. It kind of fell through in the front. I mentioned that earlier. It's not a big deal. It didn't fall through anywhere else. It's still keeping that out of the drainage layer. It just happened a little bit here in the corners. It's not a big deal. Then you got your soil on top, and that's plenty more soil than I actually need. So these plants will have plenty to root into, so they'll live nice lives. All right, guys, so what we have in this bowl here is just some cold water with terrarium moss in it. So the way this works is you activate it by submerging it in water, which essentially basically just brings it back to life. That's really it. And I'm just gonna sit it in here as I please. Just kind of put it wherever I think looks decently good. I'm just gonna plop it on the surface, nothing special at all. Next, you wanna add all your plants. We just got some simple pothos just to throw in here for the meantime. Again, can't leave the house. There's a blizzard, so I can't go and get any of the crazy plants. For example, you're gonna see in my bioactive setup for my red-eye tree frogs. It is crazy. There are tons of different plants in there. It looks amazing. So I have a Terra Sky. It's kind of sitting up weird just so I can get a good shot of these, but the Terra Sky is for my red-eye tree frogs. I'm gonna get one for this guy as well. I'm gonna do a video all about the Terra Sky. It is an amazing LED light fixture for your plants and just for great lighting in general. But I also got some LEDs just stuck back there on the wall just for display purposes. But they will do the job. Now, what's cool is, depending on what type of plants you have, you could really just stick them into the soil and they'll root. These pothos, they are very hardy plants. If you know anything about plants, these guys will survive a disaster. It doesn't matter. They will push through and persevere. So with these guys, I'm literally just going to stick them into the ground. They will sprout their own roots and grow however they want to grow. Makes no difference to me. They will overrun this entire tank if I would let them. I suggest getting some terrarium plugs. Tie-dye iguana sells them where I work. If you're local, go get some terrarium plugs from them. If not, go to your local plant store or wherever. Just get some plugs. They're easier. You just dig a little hole, stick it right in there, and it'll look amazing. The very last thing I'm gonna do, and this is for the isopods and the springtails to kind of eat, and also I think it just looks pretty pleasing, is you want to get you want to buy these from the store. You don't want to use leaves from outside. If you did that, you take a chance of bringing something into your environment that could be harmful. You don't want to do that. So just take these leaves, kind of spread them around. Wherever they land is where they land. Pretty simple and easy. There's nothing else to this. I really could explain this to a monkey and probably could do better than I could, to be fair. Last thing is it has a hat. Anyways, last thing I like to do after we get it all in there is give it a really good spray. That's just to make sure I get this soil pretty moist, pretty wet, so all the plants will start rooting off the bat, so I don't have any rooting issues. With that being said though, people that might be worried about overwatering or underwatering, a very, very, very simple rule of thumb is when you look at the soil here in the front, if it looks darker, you can see that it's wet, it's good. Don't spray heavy. If it's super dry, give it a good heavy spray. But if it looks wet, give it your basic spray you would every day for your animal. Just, 20 seconds, call it done. Alright guys, as you can see, we have the bioactive setup completely done. For the most part, there's some small stuff I'm going to add in the future, but I think it looks fairly good. We got his plants in there, and we have Purunga here just chilling. He literally could care less, honestly. He probably doesn't even care that I did any of this, but looks great. It'll be better for him in the long run, that natural setup. But that's it. So that's pretty much it for a bioactive setup. I appreciate anybody that watched this all the way through. If you have any other questions, just feel free to comment on the bottom. I can give you the best answer that I can. Again, I went really simple with this, just to give you guys a very simple breakdown on how to do bioactive. Go crazy from there. I would love to see some crazy bioactive setups. Feel free to send me them over on our Instagram at Ghostly Creatures. All of our stuff's linked at the end of the videos. Go ahead and follow us on all of that. To all the new subscribers, thank you guys so much for subscribing to us, checking us out. We have a video that hit over 200,000 views. I cannot believe that. That is absolutely crazy to me. Considering the fact that this channel has only existed for a couple months, it hasn't really been that long. And we're pulling up to our first 1,000 subs. I think that's sweet. So I can't be happier. Yeah, see you guys in the next video.